Here we go. Welcome to the Stanley Parable, as you can see. Have I played this before? I have not. That's what we're going to do. This was voted by you guys for me to play. We did a tournament, and I was not expecting this to win. I want to play it, but and I'm happy that it won, but I was not expecting it to win. So, hello, IDK. And good evening, Robert. Yeah, we got Millie here. This is my youngest kitten, Millie. She's not really a kitten anymore. She's already 2 years old, but I guess it's still pretty young. Yeah, I've only heard good things about it, so let's jump on in. Enter the current time. Huh. All right, sounds good. All right. I like that how you can see it on all the monitors going through. That's cool. Let's make them big for you guys. Make it easier for you guys to read. Good. Show reticle. Show translation labels? What does that mean? Enables, oh, I didn't see that. Enables content warnings and an option to skip sections of the game that deal with a whole bunch of different things. Enables additional text next to gameplay critical colors. Okay, so that's for like people that are colorblind. Enables translated labels on top of in-world text. Huh. Removes screen shake and camera bob. I'll just leave it. Low dexterity mode reduces difficulty for time-sensitive inputs and precision platforming. There's precision platforming? Huh. Toggle auto walk. Auto walk inputs will alternate between walking and stopping. Okay. I think that's good. Oh, let's go audio. Turn down the music a bit, maybe up a little. I think that's good. Sound effects are good. Narrator is most important. And normally I like to have, like, I lower my TV volume so that there isn't an echo. But because this game is so based on audio and listening to the narrator, I'm going to have my volume on my soundbar a little bit louder, so there might be an echo, just letting you guys know. Do I know what I'm getting into? Yeah, so I know it's like a walking simulator, a weird walking simulator puzzle game. I think that's the best way to describe it, so that's kind of what I know. Which are all three things that I like. I like weird things, I like walking sims, and I like puzzles. So let's do this.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh. That opening very much reminded me of the TV show Severance.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Are those memos? Can I crouch? I can't crouch. I can't jump either. Oh, there's crouch. Where's the meeting room? Do you know what else I'm getting vibes of? Truman Show. If you guys are familiar with that movie.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Curious if these doors will become unlockable afterwards. A whole bunch of white out there. Tips for not getting fired. Hey, Mr. Din, how's it going, man? Truman Show is a good movie.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I am very unique. How did you know? Whoa. I've totally seen that kind of a slide in a work presentation too, where it's like they ask you questions and then like the most common answers are going to be in the biggest font. That's pretty funny. I almost that slide about how to deal with stress and coworkers. I almost want to print that up and put it up in my cubicle at work. So much stuff here. Oh, something at the bottom, or is that, please keep the targets on the topic of, is that supposed to be like erased out, but it kind of leaves a little bit of red there? Or is that supposed to be like blurred out? I think it's meant to be like erased. Get Chris out of the broom closet. What? What does that say? RSOF 02? RS 0. Okay. Huh. Sorry, I hope you guys don't mind me taking time to like look at all this stuff in detail. That's how I play games. Yeah, erase like with a like not using an actual whiteboard eraser like those or like felt or whatever. Monetize free to play. Damn, are we working for like a video game company or something? He was trapped in the broom closet. Where are you?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Are you sure? What else are you gonna say when I'm standing in here?
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
No, I'm squatting.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Yes,
Standing
sir.
around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Thanks, IDK.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
No, it said that somebody was stuck in the broom closet.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
That's good.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably
Wow.
only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed in front of your screen. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Is there more? Okay. I think that's about it. Well, that was worth it.
Second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Damn it, I cut him off.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Nope, not a dream.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay. I take it that was an ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
That was cool. I like that. One out of you don't know how many. Can we get over there? Hey, 420. You hate Mondays. Mondays, yeah, they can be pretty bad at times.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, it's red too. Hello? Anybody here? The beige pages. Oh, nice. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes, if the bosses suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. That's a good rhyme. Extreme bathrooms. Okay. Oh. Oh. Business strategy. Shooting pandas in the head? Damn, son. Huh. So many branching paths. How high is this elevator going? For real? We're back? Well, that was interesting. Can't see what it says.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I wish I had a flashlight. It also reminds me of Superliminal and Portal in some ways. I pressed up. We're going down.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
The heck?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Oh, man.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
What? My violent death? Well, it's a good thing it's a video game.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I'm so dead. Don't seem very
As
dead.
the machine
Oh, God.
whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise,
What?
he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
I'm ducking. I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Or not.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh, what? Office layout. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Corridor. The pacing of the opening scene was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. The two doors. The set of the open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Hey, Solitaire. Whoa. Button sounds. A selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Whoa, this place is huge. Maintenance room. An early version of the maintenance room. Is this something that was added in the Ultra Deluxe? Like, I kind of wish that I had played the original so I would know what's new and what isn't. Whoa. I almost feel like I'm getting some spoilers. The Ultra Deluxe announcements. In December 2018, we announced the Ultra Deluxe version of the Stanley Parable at the Game Awards. These are screenshots of the videos we made for the announcement and the game's delay. This is a base game, but it's mentioning the Game Awards in 2018. Warzone. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpret it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Alien base. Huh. Narrator emails. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. How is the games? How is the game going? Whoa, are you a rock? Huh. I'm not going to stand here and read a bunch of emails. The office. The lounge. Fudge me, man. This is huge. Game design mock-up. This is the level that William, the level designer, sent Davey, the writer, as a kind of audition piece. The strength of this level got William hired to design the full game. Though much of the environment has changed, the basic layout from this mock-up is still in the game. Monitor room elevator. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room could go up or down with freedom above and countdown below. We abandoned this when players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down and placed the two endings together instead. What? Countdown room. God damn it. Freedom ending. So there's an ending where you can get freedom. Countdown desk. One of the desks from an early version of the countdown ending. Whoa. Zending? This screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. Zending levers. These levers were originally a part of the Zending. The player would pull a lever and the narrator would describe what color they had pulled. Zending model. The Zending went through many iterations. This room represents the fourth version of the ending. I feel like I should have got this ending or gone this route a lot later in the game. I've only gotten one ending so far and now I'm seeing all this stuff, which is kind of, I feel almost like spoiling things for me for the game. Anyway, represents the fourth version of the ending, and we went through it, and we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it again shortly before launch. Huh. Game is now paused. Escape menu. For a long time, we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. Huh. Trailers. We ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development, each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. This is the first one, released in May 2012. It features a series of broken rooms and the voice of the narrator informing viewers that he is repairing a new version of the Stanley parable. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of different vibes from this. Like, another one that I'm getting is The Witness a little bit. Meeting room. Doorway to the maintenance in the lounge. Doorway to the maintenance in the lounge in the original back on track option. What about this? Oh, there's a vent? What? To confusion. Oh, is that where I am right now? Is confusion? Maintenance layout. The flow of hallways following the first two doors was important to get right, since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. Oh, okay, so these were different versions that they had. Okay. An apartment timer. In a previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. Cargo lift. The cargo lift was always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping to a different path. However, after this early version, we decided we also wanted the option of the player falling to their death. That's what happened to me, right? Fell to my death? Kind of. Except I wasn't in the cargo lift. I just dropped down a hole. The cargo lift. The second version is functionally the same as what's in the final game, but we wanted it to look more like a place where cargo was actually stored. Huh. Okay. We came back around. There's that. There's that. I think we've been down here, have we? Boss's office. Scenes from the development of the boss's office. Okay.
Then he pushed the number 8.
I could hear him.
Surprise party for him for all his button pushing. Does that sound plausible to you? Stanley walked over the bridge. Now then, this elevator for sure would get him right back on track to where he was supposed to be in the story. Where
Kevin
were all of his
Brighting, the
co-workers?
voice of the
Oh, I
narrator,
don't know. How
recorded
about they're
dialogue
throwing a
for the
surprise
entire
party for him
game.
for all his button pushing. Does that sound plausible to you? When Stanley came to the lift, he traveled upward to the power
Roughly
source at the top of the
3
facility
separate
to
times
end this
over the
injustice
2
forever.
years of development. These are clips from early takes that
Stanley
were
stood
not
on the
used in the
roof.
final
Stanley
game.
walked over the bridge. And finally, he pushed the Stanley pushed the orange lever. Still nothing. I don't know. Well, in that case, I'll tell you what.
Well, this is quite the path we've gone down. Okay, so there's that. I think I want to go there last. Let's go check this out first. Oh, there's our office, 427. Stanley's office. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. The first was created in November 2011, the second March 2012, and the third in February 2013. Cool. Okay, I guess we're going down that one way. We have only one way left to go.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail.
Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game.
As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
I'm not going to turn off my PlayStation. The end is never the end. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting
Thank you,
room.
Robert.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Have you
When
seen all the
Stanley
endings?
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
At this point, I kind of want to
Yet
methodically...
there was not a single person here either. Feeling
Go
a wave of disbelief,
other
Stanley
routes that I
decided to go
haven't gone.
up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Cool. You have. Nice.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley
5,
wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly
4,
tearing through
8.
papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
I was close.
Of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
How many endings do you think I should go for, Robert? Maybe I should make a poll. See what you guys think.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Where am I? 427. Right there. You can actually see my office space. That's kind of cool. Obviously I would, right? But I don't know, it's still cool.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I kind of want to walk across the bridge. Can I walk into the lava? Is this lava? What is this? No, it's not lava. It's just interesting. Have you seen both the original game and the Ultra Deluxe, everything? Mind controls idle, awaiting input. What does that say? I can't read that. Mind, is that the same thing?
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Are you sure? I hear music.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
And it's a zombie
Whatever
apocalypse.
life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Beat the game. That's my 9,001th trophy, and that's my 9,002th trophy. Get your first trophy. That's kind of funny. I now have 9,002 PlayStation trophies.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Do the endings kind of come naturally?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Are there any, like, difficult to get endings? Thank you very much, Robert.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Okay. How am I doing so far? I have a feeling this is pretty standard.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Does it lead me back to my boss's office? It does.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
What if I sit behind the desk and become the boss? I am now the boss.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
Well, what if I go back up?
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he? Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me. Oh my God, it's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this.
That's pretty funny.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No! No, wait! No! I need more time to process.
Would you guys say this is more of a...
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Is this more of an experience or a game, would you say? I almost feel like it's more of an experience.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Yeah. So... I'm doing it again. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Yeah, it's definitely not a game that you could...
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a minute. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate, and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, though I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh good, we're here. Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
How we did it, the pyramids. This is actually kind of cool. I was half expecting it to like start repeating stuff, but no, it's actually taking me to like an ending, something more different. An evening with world peace, baby.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
Oh man. But what's... Hold on. What? It's not the stage door. Oh. I thought it was pointing me to this. Doing great. A conversation with Alexander the Great.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
Break a leg, champ. Your boss. Story. Stanley, me, Dad, age 6. Thanks for showing me that cool skateboard trick in the parking lot. You're too cool. Good luck on stage. Rock on. I love the way you ride elevators. No one tells stories the way you do. Go get him, Tiger. That one handwriting is very difficult to read, so I'm going to skip it. Congratulations, Stanley. Remember where you came from? Your coworkers. That was an ending?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I have a feeling like the way people play this game says a lot about who they are. This is different. This is different. Isn't this different? This is different.
When
No?
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his
different.
left. Yet there was not a single person here either.
feel like
Feeling a
I'm going
wave of
crazy.
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Like, I'm trying to play it in a methodical way, where it's like, if I see a branching path, I then go, when I finish the one path, I go back and do the other path. Thanks for the...
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Why did I go through the left door? Because he said that I went through the left door. It says, Stanley went through the left door. He came to 2 doors, and he went through the left one. So I went through the left one, and now I'm just kind of trying to go through the left door to exhaust all possibilities. Because I am a methodical person. Or I try to be. Now, okay. Oh no, for sure. I'm gonna go the right way, right? Like, I'm gonna take the right path. But I want to do as much down the left that I can. Since you've seen all this, Robert, before I what I'm tempted to do is to take the elevator up and down again, and when I get to the top, to that new area, don't leave the elevator and take it back down. Is that something? Or will I not be able to take the elevator back down and I'll have the same ending? It's kind of a spoiler that You want me to try it? Okay. Because I just don't want to waste time doing the same stuff.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
I suppose getting back doesn't take that long. Because the first time I do it, I stop and listen. I observe things. Oh, it's making me listen?
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat. Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this? Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Well, PS5 Pro loading times are really nice, that's for sure. Making me get off again. I have to do the timeout stuff.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I process this. Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
I'm gonna go get some water. Actually, you know what? While I'm up, I should feed the cats. Time is flying by.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Do you guys have any Easter plans? We've got family coming over tomorrow, so... That is what I'm doing tomorrow. Going to Mass in the morning, and family's coming over for lunch. I'm gonna make some turkey. I'm gonna play some canasta. Have turkey dinner. And then, well, get ready for next week, right? Which is gonna be nice. We've got a short week. I've booked off Thursday and Friday. We've got a concert on Wednesday. I thought, why not make it the start of a 4-day long weekend? So that's what I'm doing. All right, I have returned.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
So the next one's going to be slow, right?
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension?
I'm glad you're
Where's
entertained,
the trust
Robert.
in the audience
I'm glad you're
to build a
entertained.
slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal. This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you.
I want to get off there.
You're the one who took this bold
What's
step
there?
of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, though I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you.
How
so
many
that you can
times
talk about
can I
your
go
work
through
and your
this?
storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much
Like, I
for
was
the
expecting
public
to do
eye, but I thought
multiple
it would
episodes, but I
especially mean
almost
a
feel
lot to
like
the people who have been following you from the
I
beginning.
play for like another,
they really look up to you, Stanley.
let's say 2
I don't know
hours.
if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
Will I be done? Okay, it's not letting me push the button. So it took me to the same thing.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
What do you mean about 2 hours?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I swear, the hallway was different that one time. 100% it was different.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
Oh, okay. I did actually look on howlongtobeat.com, and it said 28 hours. I'm pretty sure it said 28 hours. Let me have a look. How long to beat? Oh, I must have been looking at something else, because it says 12 and a half. Okay. What was I looking at that was 28? I don't know. It says main story 2 hours, main and extra 5 hours, completion is 12. Yeah, so I said...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Hold on, did I do this already? Or was there another way to go? This is it, isn't it? There wasn't another way to go.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Now it's starting to blur together.
Now the monitors jump to life, their true nature revealed.
Was
Each
there another
bore the
way for me
number
to go?
of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley,
Did I choose
one of
up
them,
or down?
eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Or did it... I feel like this game is making my brain mush.
It was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His
Well, technically,
own life
didn't I beat
in
the
someone
game in,
else's
like,
control? Never.
I don't know,
It was
45
unthinkable.
minutes?
Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Oh. What? How do I get up there? There's a button there. There's buttons 1, 2, and 5. Where are 3 and 4? Oh, there's 3. How the heck do I open that up? Makes different sounds each time. There's gotta be a way to open that up, right? Oh yeah, there was on and off.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp.
Where did 3 go?
I have to say this, though. This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
Or I do 142.
Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you.
Oh, there's
running
a door.
From button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room.
What?
These numbered buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment.
Or 521.
But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice? Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the
was that
moment
door
we fade
open
in
earlier?
until the moment I say,
Did I open it
happily
by
ever
putting
after.
in that code?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content? Thanks for the applause, Robert.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Is there a place for me to see how many endings I've got?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a
Nice.
mesmerizing adventure.
Okay, awesome.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle?
What do we think is going to happen? Am I going to die, or is there going to be, like, fireworks? Confetti. I'm guessing confetti. That's my guess. Oh, no! I can't jump anymore.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley,
I'm
I have
guessing...
to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
I'm wondering if... I had like 36 jumps, but I wasted them all.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
No, this is different. Well, I'm glad I can show you some new stuff here, Robert. It's all new to me, but...
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Dude.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Oh, so I played, I don't know how many more hours, probably put in another 5 hours or so of Split Fiction, and awesome, just as awesome as the first time I played it. Well, the first session. There's still a lot more gaming to go in that, but there was a Dark Souls Easter egg. There's one place where you kind of go off on a little path, and there's like a cave, and then a bonfire with a sword in it, and you can sit down by it, and I forget what it said. It said something like, moonlight lit or something like that, instead of like bonfire lit. It was cool.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Huh. It sounds like you enjoy it more than you lead on, Robert. But GG on getting those last 2 characters, man. I'm glad you at least have everything now, so... if and when you choose to not play it anymore, you'll at least know that you have nothing left.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Is that actually like an edition that came out? The Stanley Parable? PC edition? (2013). I just got that. See the thing where the green box, it says buy on pressurized gas, but it's buy on Steam? You're at 91% complete. Oh, so you unlocked all the characters, but there's still 9% left to go. Good times. The British Academy of Film and Television Arts. Good old BAFTA. 2014 Independent Games Festival. Cool. Smile because it happened. Oh. Steam achievements. Game Innovation nominee, Debut Game nominee, and Story nominee. Hey, that's the one of the ending that we got. Little Stanley? He's like a gerbil or something? They really like, they made this new content like super duper realistic and updated. I want to sit on the bench.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created. Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
The original remake. That's a sweet car. Huh.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
Where to next?
These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Oh, this is great.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Pressurized gas. I love it. I love going to Steam, checking out a game, and filtering only the negative reviews. Sometimes because I feel like, you know, when people are all too quick to compliment things. And usually you can tell when somebody gives a negative review and says the negative things about the game, you can either tell that you can't take it seriously, or you're like, huh, I think that sounds like a valid point that most other people probably don't bring up. So, I don't know. And sometimes they're just freaking hilarious.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
I feel like with positive reviews, it's so easy to say like, oh, this game is awesome. The graphics are fantastic. I had a blast. It was so much fun. The story was so thought-provoking. The combat is so unique, you know? Like, it's so easy to just, like, give a generic, bland, positive review. But I feel like negative reviews, they actually, you know, they let you know what you might potentially not like in a game. And it kind of prepares you for that. You go, no, I'm okay with that. I can deal with it. Or you're like, oh, yeah, that sounds terrible. Wow, other people might not mind that. For me, it's not great, you know? That's the way that I look at it.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
You think it's the only narrative game in existence? No, I've played other narrative games. Or are you being sarcastic? Or being, what's the word I'm looking for? Where you're saying it's the only one in existence because this is the only one that matters. Yeah, no, that's true.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people, and if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah,
You know
blah,
we're
blah,
not
blah,
skipping
blah,
this,
blah,
right?
blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No,
We're
no,
listening to
until
this right to the end.
245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... the story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until
He's repeating himself.
we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah,
He
blah,
is
blah,
repeating
blah,
himself.
blah, blah, blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... the story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination...
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or... Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their pressurized gas review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps.
I don't think they will.
I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on how exactly pressurized gas works.
You can change your review.
Perhaps that would have been a smart thing to check on before I went on about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is who runs pressurized gas will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with pressurized gas altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
Is that it? Like, I never know if something else is going to be coming up. I'm just putting on some socks. Probably close the door and window as well. It is starting to cool off a bit. Now, I'm the narrator. Is that what I'm like? Am I the narrator when I play video games? I come in with my own narration.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer.
The door's
that
gone.
last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here?
The door's gone.
The door go?
Yeah, I know.
Wasn't there
already.
a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back.
Yeah, so, while he's going and looking for a door, I don't know. Yeah, the game is looking for a door. I like the sound design in this. Dude, how long can I wait? I would go use the washroom if I needed to go use the washroom, but I don't need to use the washroom at this moment. Do we wait it out? I feel like we wait it out. But if you want me to press the button, I can press the button. But I'm okay with waiting it out. What are you guys up to? What have you been playing recently? So, I saw that... Oh, what is it called? The game that's kind of inspired by Fallout but isn't. Something Fall. Atomfall. Atomfall in Canada is $80. It's a $60 American game, which I think it's pretty preposterous that it's $80. I feel like game prices are really getting out of hand. No thanks to Nintendo. Oh, a new Grounded update. Cool, man. Nice. It seems like there's a lot of updates on Grounded. Are they generally fairly small? Because it's not like, I'm guessing, what is it called? No Man's Sky, where it's like every update is just like massive and just completely changes the game. And it adds like so much content and different mechanics and yeah. For real game. I hope I'm not making anybody dizzy. I'm just trying to entertain myself while we wait. I haven't started The Witcher 3 yet. I want to start The Witcher 3, but it's also kind of intimidating. I almost started it this afternoon, but then I was like, nah, you know what? I want to finish this one short indie game that I was playing. And there was only 3 trophies left. And getting those 3 trophies was also going to get me to my 9,000th trophy. And I did. Hey, Neon, how's it going, man? You've been playing hardcore Minecraft for the past couple weeks. Cool, dude. And I am playing the Stanley Parable, Ultra Deluxe. This is very ultra and very deluxe. I'm sitting in this room. The narrator was here. There was a door right here. And the door disappeared, and the narrator said, I'm going to go search for the door. Don't press this button. I will be back with the door. Just don't, whatever you do, don't press the button. So, yeah, it's been a few minutes and I haven't pressed the button. Yeah, it is beyond nuts there, Robert. Very deluxe, much ultra. Yes, I don't know, like, fudge. How long do I wait here? Is the game testing my patience? Will he return? Or is the game just like, no, this dude is going to eventually break and hit the button. Nothing is going to happen. He's just in a room. Just keep waiting. Okay. Are you speaking from experience or knowledge there, Neon? Or just out of, I don't know what you would want to call it. Opinion? Well, at least the smoke detector isn't beeping at us. That would be terrible. Nice. Okay. I love that response. Nor will you confirm or deny that you have any knowledge, right? Although the way that you phrased it makes me think that you do have knowledge. You do know something. I'm trying to bash through the wall like the Kool-Aid man. It's like Shawshank Redemption. Eventually, with a spoon, I will dig my way out. Are there any spoons around here? You know every nothing. Well, this is definitely an experience. Should we take an ultimate nap? How's everything going for you guys? Oh, we're getting extra comfortable here. Reclining more than usual. I'm going to let my hair down. This is crazy. This is kind of crazy. I'm just going to close my eyes here for a bit. How you guys doing? Anything new and exciting? Other than Minecraft and Star Trek? Dude, I just want to press the button. I just want to press the button. I need to press the button. How long does it take to find a frickin' door? You're more excited for Patapon. Man, you really are excited for Patapon. I was so impressed with the casting of Frank Stone that now I am very much looking forward to Directive 8020 by Supermassive. You don't think he's coming back? Well, you told me to wait. Maybe you'll pull a Rip Van Winkle and crash till July. I don't understand. What did Rip Van Winkle do? You led me to believe that you had knowledge, Neon. Now I suspect that this knowledge, this said knowledge, is actually not knowledge and was just a hunch. I think we pressed the button. I can't wait here forever, man. He slept for 1,000 years under an apple tree? Rip Van Winkle? What? Knowledge. Or lack thereof. All right. Hello, Mr. Din. I am pressing the button. You guys want to press the button with me? Should we do a countdown? 10, 9, 8, 7. Engines are go. 6, 5, 4, 3. Engaging thrusters. 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door.
Son of a...
There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen.
Shut up.
Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again.
Whoa.
Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all
This
that
is
time,
dark.
just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along?
Does the narrator have a name?
Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley.
Wonders.
I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended
So
in
we're
its
time traveling.
unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that
And
I am
he
becoming
wonders
less
why
and
there were
less
those
real.
negative
Yet to speak to
pressurized
you
gas
now,
reviews.
I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am
shut up.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days.
He does
months.
talk too
I
much,
lost it
Mr.
all in a
Dan.
blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed
Now, if he
down
had
into a single
something
instant.
of
In that
substance
instant,
to
I could
talk
see
about,
myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust
but
simultaneously.
he's like one of those people
I
that
was
just
consumed
rambles
by it.
on and on.
I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt
hope
like
I'm
an
not one of
eternity.
those.
For what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of
Rapid
free will
fire
that
button
you and I
presses.
have
Is that
squabbled
what
over
you're
for so
requesting,
long.
Neon?
There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment, and I felt freed.
I'm gonna
I
give him a
felt
little bit more.
unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness, the equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest
I don't regret it,
time,
Neon.
this was my experience. And then this moment passed.
It was
and
an
the
experience.
most unyielding fear I have
It was a
ever
choice
known
we
crept
made.
into my mind. And it is this
And because of that
sensation
choice,
that
I have a
been
memory.
experiencing now for longer than I could have
And I
ever
feel like I've
expected
also
was possible.
gained...
I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely
gained
to
experience,
state
as
for
in
you
now I'm
the
like,
plain
huh.
fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind
The
will
game
consume
can also have
you as
nothing.
well. Perhaps you will somehow,
There is a
in
lot
some
in the
way,
game, but
have to
there is
live as I
also
do now,
the
and I wish for you
potential
to know how
for
excruciating
nothing
it
to
is, and for
exist.
you to be in true terror of its eventual
You follow
arrival.
what I'm saying?
If I can only do this, only this one
Nothing
thing,
can
perhaps it will bring
exist.
me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
The existence of nothing is actually something. There's a lot of impatient people out there. I feel like I am not one of them. Do I have the capability to be impatient? Yes. But whenever I reflect on stuff, I always take something from it. The fan's dying. Even if you learn nothing from experiencing nothing, it still happened. And regret is a horrible thing. Regretting stuff is like... it's not good. Always look forward. And sometimes look fast forward. Oh no. I was talking about the smoke detector beeping. It's not chirping, it's just beeping at us.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place
know we're
while
listening?
the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley parable. We demand it. And
Or
then,
is he just
because it was
rambling in
said,
his
because it was
insanity?
spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without
I need to light a
entertainment, we would
candle
have to
'cause
face
Pepper
inward
just took
toward
the
the cruel
stinkiest dump.
bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to
Holy.
look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm
Yo,
not
that's-
mad. I'm
that's
not
the
mad about
biggest
any
L
of this. I'm at
possible,
peace with it.
Mr.
I am
Den.
the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint
Yeah, you don't
for
even come here,
reasonable
Pepper.
and collected discourse.
Don't you
They're
come
the ones
here.
who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the
Keep
idea
your
of me
stinkiness to
using my
yourself.
game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad...
Okay, I'm done, dude. I'm done. Please stop talking.
The end is never the end, 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 is
This is what insanity looks like.
never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
That is why the only thing I fear in the world is insanity. Insanity scares the crap out of me.
Is never the end, 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 is never the
Imagine being stuck in a room forever. Oh, what? This is new. I have a feeling the place is gonna collapse on itself. Dude, I freaking called it. And it's not only like I called it and then it eventually happened, I called it like... and then it immediately happened. Well, there's still no way out. This is really cool. Oh, shoot. When did this turn into a horror game? Okay, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Oh, thank God. That was creepy as all hell. That was really good.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content? Thank you very much, Robert.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you. You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see? Isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Why did he finish his sentence like that? Potential. Or was I imagining things? New content is out. New content part 2 is in. Two doors are back. Yeah, they're very fond of the color red. Two Stanleys.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
The prequel to Stanley Parable 2 is the sequel to the Stanley Parable. Is the sequel to the Stanley Parable 2. Dude, that's cool. Every pause button is a Roman numeral. Well, not, I don't know. New features. New content.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
saw the new content. I kind of want that shirt. This t-shirt is the best new feature. That's a pretty awesome shirt too. Okay, what do we have here? Office decorations, Stanley Parable, reassurance bucket. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. I kind of want to check that out. What do we have over here? No screenshots. Red is the new orange. The new updated ray-traced more of the same, but in a good way sequel to Stanley Parable. New features, new content, new ideas. I got another jump circle and an infinite hole. Oh man, where do I want to go? Don't close the door on me.
Okay, I'll be honest, I
Oh, you
haven't
son
yet
of a
decided
bitch.
on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Free, new and easy trophy. Oh, I want a trophy. Hold on. Oh, we've walked through, okay. I don't have any
You know
jumps
what?
left.
Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle?
I did.
Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
I had a feeling I shouldn't have used up all my jumps. Oh, I didn't see the QR code in the shop. Oh, 100% it works. Do you want me to try? Do you guys want to try? Photo. It's not working. Oh, it is. StanleyParable2.com. Welcome to the official website of the Stanley Parable 2. A sequel, huh? Good eyes there, Robert. Okay, let's go back and look at that map. I want to figure out where I want to go. And where I have been. Where's that map? So I'm here. And we went through 3. I think we did B2, didn't we? Okay, let's go back and check out B. If it says Ultimate Rich, I'm gonna flip. What is this? Epilogue?
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game.
It's gonna say
Isn't that
Stanley.
wonderful?
It's gonna say Stanley because we're Stanley.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature.
Imagine
Just
if your
play
name
along.
was
I promise
actually
you'll
Jim.
love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
There are probably hundreds of Jims out there that were like, what the hell? How did it know my name?
Jim. Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again. Jim. Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Damn it. Get this game needs.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Okay. So there's A9 is up there. It doesn't show the trophy thing. And then lowercase I is that that one room. Let's go to lowercase I. Finally, the candle is starting to overtake the poopiness
An
of
epilogue
Pepper.
would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
How can you be a world champion of this? I guess speed running? Oh man, yeah, she definitely did a number on my nasal cavity. Get yours right now. Pull the lever, receive your new trophy. No more steps, it just works. Get yours right now.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the trophy will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
You son of a... You don't tell me there's a free trophy and then not give me a free trophy.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Despicable. Oh, that's what I was thinking, dude. Well, there's exit. We haven't gone up. Oh, I guess we went to Q. The heck is N? How do we get to N? Oh no, N is this. Okay, that's the jumping thing. Oh, I guess we go check this out. Can you find them? Can you find them? Collect them all! Whoa.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
One of 6. Are there
God,
actually
it really
6
is
to
the
collect?
worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Oh, the exit is closed off. Oh, but we do have something over there. I think that's the last thing we need to go or do. Oh no, we didn't go down this way. What the hell is down over this way? There's a whole bunch down there. Okay, we'll go to K after we check this out. Exit.
Oh goodness, Stanley, this is fairly awkward. I hate to do this, but before you leave, you really should go to the bucket exhibit. You see, there's a surprise I was going to spring on you later, and it involves the bucket. And I really do hate to break the illusion, but it's important that you go see the bucket, okay? All right, I'll get out of your hair now.
Okay, we got something over there. Let's go check this out. Time-like infinity. Space-like infinity, distant past, distant space-time. Whole-like infinity. Science, infinity, falling, more hole, space, depth, hole, more.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Oh, it's blocked off. I was like, what's up here? The illusion of something. Isn't that just what video games are, is an illusion? It's just one giant illusion to make you think that something is what they want you to think it is. Bombs away.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Why? Whoa.
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Damn collectibles. They get me too. What are you... Can you please stop that, Katya? Always licking stuff. I guess that's what I get for not putting that away. All right. Let's return to the surface.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Oh, for heaven... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there, goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time?
It was.
I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come.
I know how to
join me
hit the
up
teleport
above.
button.
Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Oh gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability in marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
I want to do that. 100%.
Well, there it
dude.
is. The shame of my life. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the, teleport button not working?
It is not working.
You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
The hole is like 2.5 feet deep, maybe 3 feet. I can climb out. No. For real? Whoa. This is awesome. Soft locked in a 2-foot hole. It almost felt like I was playing Ghost of Tsushima. But I can't walk around. You can't jump. I got a trophy. That's cool.
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine. My head's stronger. You're no longer using up the space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using
Stanley?
up the space of
Stanley?
mine.
Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there. drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Toodle pip. Oh, I guess that was an ending. Oh, cool.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Oh, we haven't been to the bucket, have we? That's what he was saying. Go check out the bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2. Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
The button that says the name, merch, settings, world champion, reassurance bucket, office decorations. Yeah, we did office decorations. Yeah, oh yeah, that's right, the balloons. We went to the epilogue, collectibles. Yeah, infinite hole. Okay, I guess we're exiting, right? But it wouldn't let me exit. Oh, but there was also that, where's this? Oh no, we went through this. I guess we exit again?
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement.
Hey, there's 2 more collectibles.
Yes.
Damn it,
yes,
I want those
this is
collectibles.
much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work?
Sounds like Ultra Deluxe.
But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A
Ultra
title screen
Deluxe.
that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Okay, this is really good. This is clever as hell. This is awesome.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what
These frickin' balloons.
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, one more ending and I'm done. There's the bucket.
Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, I didn't. Not this time.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I kind of wish all these doors would open.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Yes, I am drinking it all in. That is what I'm doing.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished,
Can I have a
here
seat
you
here?
sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
They left because of me. Stanley.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue.
Jim.
But when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Okay. That's fair.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I feel like Stanley should be taller. I feel like I'm a midget. I mean, a little person. What do you guys say? Midget, little person, or dwarf, or other?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
There's a
I realize that
collectible.
investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Well, prove it. Here's your opportunity. Oh my god, there's collectibles.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Thanks, Robert. Well, I know where the third one is, but then there's 3 more. Just don't know how to get to that third one. I can't remember which door he said for me to take. I'm going blue.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
No, I'm going to keep going blue.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Clearly there's something here that speaks to you. If I can be honest here, I really don't have any idea where I'm going with this. This whole third door thing was just a stab in the dark. But I guess you're into it, so let's keep this party train rolling. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look. Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
I think I actually heard about this. That you actually have to do this for 4 hours. I'm not doing it.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
It is awesome.
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation?
Firewatch?
Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
I played Firewatch. I played Firewatch before Firewatch was a known and popular game. Indie game, nonetheless, but...
Oh, no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly, block it off.
No! Oh, come on.
Thank goodness, Stanley, what a close call. You really wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Was that all?
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun. Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Hold on. What are you doing?
Yep, Rocket League.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Well, there's 427.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it, down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
All right. Well, that was very enjoyable. And I want to come back. There's a lot more I feel that we need to do, that I want to do. So the sequel is now paused. That's great. It's so awesome that this is the menu now. Really cool. Yeah, happy Easter to you as well, Robert, and to everybody else. Just like the Stanley Parable, there will be a part 2 of my playthrough. I definitely want to do some more of this. Man, I could have watched this menu screen infinitely. This might be one of the best menu screens I've ever seen in a video game. Everything from the music to the visuals. It's awesome. Thank you very much, Neon. You're welcome. And yeah. I'm not too sure when I'll be back with this. Most likely next weekend. Although, you know what? I feel like I could do this in short spurts too. Like, I'm happy to sit down for a longer session, but maybe during the week, just do a few areas, a few different things. Anyway, it's cool, man. It's really cool. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for voting for me to watch this, for me to play this, because this is cool. This is really, really cool. It is, yeah, it's living up to my expectations. I would even say it's exceeding my expectations. But anyway, that's it. Take care, everybody. We'll be seeing you around. Bye-bye.